Good afternoon. Welcome to the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER on the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, and also, of course, via the BS3 Network. You're watching the show either on YouTube, Twitch, Musk, Twitter, if you don't know, Fire TV, and Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't, you can go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. I am, of course, KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. We're going to talk hoops and lots of hoops. Well, maybe not lots of hoops, but a lot of hoops here these next 50 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for already watching on the platforms. Hit me up with some of your questions. Just got through speaking with head coach Kelvin Sampson of the Cougars within the last 15 minutes. Houston Athletics will post that the video press conference on YouTube within an hour or two afterwards. After this show, I asked Coach about the matchup this coming Saturday against Baylor. Baylor's got a lot of athletes. Coach said that Baylor is starting 2 first-round picks in center Eves Misi, big man, athletic, long arms. And then Jacoby Walter, both of them are freshmen. So freshman Scott Drew's doing a little differently up in Baylor, getting those 5 stars, one and dones for the most part in that program. Excuse me. Whereas the Cougars, Jarris Walker was an exception. Last year, one and done, but got drafted in the first round, of course. 8th pick to the Pacers. But most of the Cougars are in their 3rd, 4th years in the program, in a case like Juwan Roberts, in their 5th year. But in case you did not know, all of them, all of the current Cougars could choose to come back next season and take advantage of their extra year, the COVID year. I doubt that's going to happen for most of them, but it is an option for everyone on this year's current Cougar team, which is 10-3 in the Big 12, sitting in first place after Monday's win over Iowa State. Great matchup, 2 teams. First half was really a defensive battle. Both teams shot much better in the second half. Cougs won the game by 8. Jamal Shead was stellar in the second half, scoring 20 of his 26 points. Had, I think, 5 of his 6 assists in the second half. Iowa State head coach TJ Otzelberger gave Shead tremendous credit. He said Jamal was amazing. Jamal is at that point now in the season. He's looking like we'll see how far he can keep it up, how long he can keep it up. But his will to win is carrying the Cougars to victories now. In conference play, we'll see if he can do it come tournament time. But he is one of the best, not just best point guards in the country. He's playing like one of the best players in the country. So give me your thoughts on what I just said, those comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think Jamal has a chance at being Big 12 Player of the Year? Heck, National Player of the Year. Could he be a first-team All-American? What do you think about that? Hit me know in the comments here on YouTube at Houston Roundball Review or AJ's platform as well on YouTube. Or if you want to do it on Twitter at Jones and Media Entertainment on that platform as well. Rex32, thank you for chiming in. Best week in the Mertita Center these past 2 games. Oh, and I got to say this. The changing of the tip time from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for Monday night's game against Iowa State made a big difference in the crowd. The crowd was there at tip-off in their seats. Standing room only. Almost matched the sellout crowd with the record crowd from Saturday's thumping of the Longhorns. And it's always good to beat the Longhorns or anything. Sorry if you're Longhorn fans or Longhorn alums, but I'm not. As a proud Cougar alum, it's always good when the Cougs beat the Longhorns. But I think it was 7,904 Saturday. And then Monday, it was 7,895. It was close, but not quite. A new record inside Fertitta Center. And I think the official capacity is like 7,035 or something like that. So the SRO, the standing room only, is now 800, maybe 900. So who knows if coming up for the Cougar Senior Day matchup against Kansas on March 9th, if it'll get to 8,000. Not sure if that's possible, but if it is, we shall see. But this Saturday, 11 o'clock Central Time, 11 a.m., Cougs in Waco against Baylor. CBS. Baylor's coming off a loss Tuesday in Provo to the other Cougars in the conference, BYU. BYU made 14 threes in that game to defeat Baylor. Baylor got off to a hot start early. Then BYU settled down, stopped turning over the ball, and started making threes. I'm not sure the Cougs can make, the Houston Cougars will make 14 threes on Saturday. But I saw some things personally that Baylor could have problems with Houston on Saturday. Rebounding is definitely one of them. But the Bears' defense kind of broke down. If you have hold on to the ball a lot and take the ball deep into the shot clock. Got a lot of breakdowns. We'll see if that happens on Saturday in that Bears-Houston matchup. 11 o'clock on CBS. Net update. 5 games left. 5 games left. Cougs 23-3 overall. 10-3 in the Big 12. 9 quad 1 wins. 2 quad 2s. 5 quad 3s. 7 quad 4s. 3s and 4s are done for the rest of the season. 4 remaining Q1 games. Baylor this Saturday. Baylor Bears are fit 14 in the net. Cincinnati off a loss at home to Oklahoma State. Cowboys starting to turn things around. Like the freshmen are finally clicking for them. They won like 3 of the last 4 games, but a big road win for Oklahoma State over Cincinnati, and that's a bad loss for the Bearcats in their hopes of being one of those at-large bids for the postseason in the NCAA tournament. They dropped from 35 to 45 in net after that loss. Oklahoma March 2nd in Norman at a 40. UCF is kind of struggling now as conference play has extended. There's still a Q1 if the Cougs win in Orlando. 72 in the net. For a while, the UCF was in the 60s. They're now 72. The cutoff is like 75 to still be a Q1. And then, of course, last but not least, Senior Day, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, March 9th, Houston versus Kansas. I think Coug fans are looking forward to that one. The players are as well, and we'll see if Kansas can shoot 70% from the floor like they did in the first matchup. They can, but they won't. I'm saying that right now. But if you're new to it, there's a breakdown of the net quadrants, the quad 1, quad 2, quad 3, quad 4, what it means. It's based on your opponent, who you play, who your opponent plays, where the game takes place, and really, I think also how well you look in that game based on really some committee folks' margin of victory. They say it's not part of the equation. I think it is, but who knows? But quad 1, home, your opponent is 1 through 30. Neutral site, 1 to 50. Road, 1 to 75. Quad 2, 31 to 75. Neutral site, 51 to 100. Road, 76 to 135. Quad 3, home, 76 to 160. Neutral site, 101 to 200. Road, 136 to 240. Then quad 4, home, 161 to 362. Neutral site, 201 to 362. And then road, 241 to 362. Rex says, take care of business, and Houston can have back-to-back seasons as number 1. The Cougs have been number 1 in the net almost the entire season. And let me say this. I'm going to turn this into a clip. So I'm saying it right now during the show, during this edition of the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER, powered by JM&E. Streaming live on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Fire TV, Roku, via BS3 Network. Fans, alums, but most importantly, the fans. Rex, Cougar fans, college basketball fans. Stop. It's a habit, And it's been a long habit. I understand that. It's going to take a while. But stop putting so much weight into where your team is ranked in the AP and or coaches poll. I can't tell my colleagues what to do about social media platforms and where the Cougars are ranked. The Cougars are ranked 2 in the AP, and UConn lost to Marquette early this week. So if the Cougs beat Baylor, they'd be number 1 in the AP poll, the coaches poll. So what? Trust me when I say this. The members of the basketball selection committee do not care about the AP poll. They do not care about the coaches poll. Those 2 polls are for the school's publicity, marketing, promotion. I really want the schools to start promoting where their school is ranked in the net, in KenPom, in metrics that the committee does value. Those are more important than the AP poll, the coaches poll. I know those have been around a long, long time. I pay no attention, well, not none, but hardly any attention to the AP poll and the coaches poll. Like I said, the Cougs are ranked number 1 in the net and been there all season. They've been 2, 3, 4, 5 in the AP poll. So they're a number 1 seed for the bracket preview. If they keep winning, they'll be one of the 4 number 1 seeds for the tournament, for the NCAA tournament. That has nothing to do with where they're ranked in the AP poll and the coaches poll. 0. The committee members do not sit in their room when they meet and have their discussions and their debates. Well, let's see. Where were they ranked in the AP poll? Doesn't happen. Trust me, it does not happen. They do consider where they're ranked in the net, where they're ranked in the KenPom, where they're ranked in this metric, that metric. That's what they care about. Not the coaches poll, not the AP poll. They don't care about that. You know, fans, we beat UConn, we're number 1. Fans can do that. But hopefully, at some point, fans will stop doing that and start realizing what's important to the committee, because that impacts where your team is seated in the tournament, not the AP poll. I'm off my soapbox now. But yes, that's my thought as an old man, weeks away from turning 52. So if you feel like I'm an old guy, Chris, like that old man getting off my lawn, kids, yep, so be it. But that's what I think now. Stop focusing on the AP poll and the coaches poll. Oh, it's obsolete. It has no bearing on the seeding and bracketing in the postseason. Same on women's side as well. It does not matter. This is what matters. Look at this. These are the net rankings, and net stands for NCAA evaluation tool. It is one of the tools that the committee members use to select the at-large teams for the NCAA tournament. As I said a few times so far in this show, Houston is number 1 in the net. Been that way for most of this season. They were number 1 in the net after losing at Kansas. Didn't change. They're still number 1 in the net. Iowa State, I think, was 8 before Monday's game against Houston. They're still 8 because it was a road game for Iowa State. They're facing another Q1 opponent. BYU, 11. Baylor, 14. Kansas, 17. 28. Texas Tech. TCU, 37. Texas, 39. And I know Coach Ronald Terry took a lot of flack and still taking some flack from his comments after the loss to Saturday about recruiting more physical players to compete with Houston. Well, they bounced back Monday and beat K-State. So they're okay. Oklahoma 40. Cincinnati 45. Bad loss, Oklahoma State. Bad loss, Oklahoma State. UCF 72. K-State 77. Oklahoma State 114. Moving up. Improving. They're around 150 or so for a while this season. They're now 114. West Virginia 149. All 14 teams ranked in the top 149. But what may surprise people, check this out. Women's basketball. Houston Cougars women's team also hosted Iowa State Wednesday night. Different result, unfortunately, for the Cougars, Coach Hughey and the Cougars. Cougs lost 76-64 to Iowa State. Iowa State has like 5 freshmen on their team. One of them, young lady named Audi Crooks, A-U-D-I, Crooks, freshman. If you follow women's hoops for a while, she's got the frame like Courtney Paris. She's a big young lady. And she does work on the block. 25 points last night for Audi Crooks, one of the best freshmen in the country. So she can wreak havoc for the next few years in college basketball. But look at where all 14 Big 12 women's teams are ranked, including Houston after losing last night to Iowa State. All of them are in the top 100. All of them. Men's side, Oklahoma State and West Virginia, 114, 149. But all 14 women's teams, Big 12 members, are in the top 99 because Houston's now at 99. Cougs got their first road win in Big 12 play a few days ago on Saturday, defeating Oklahoma State. That helped them go from 103 to 98. I think losing last night to now 99. So Coach Fennelly, Iowa State head coach Bill Fennelly, I'll go over the numbers and more momentarily. I asked him after the game. You can go. I just posted his comments on YouTube at Houston Roundball Review, but it's been on TikTok since last night and Instagram since last night. I asked him his thoughts on Big 12 women's hoops this season with some new members. Coach Fennelly said it's the best league in college basketball, women's college basketball, the best league, top to bottom. The teams at the bottom do not play like bottom teams. Top to bottom, Big 12 women's basketball is the best conference in women's hoops. Top to bottom, I'd say, yeah. I'd kind of toss, SEC or the Big 10 at the top better. Their top teams are better than the Big 12's top teams. But 1 through 14, Big 12 women's hoops, the numbers, look at the numbers. The numbers say, yeah, all 14 teams, all 14 of them are ranked in the top 99. All of them. Tony M., salute to you. Thank you for chiming in. We're going to talk Rockets momentarily. And Tarison and that lengthy lower leg injury he's had for weeks, months. But Big 12 women's basketball is better than some folks think. Women's side, and the numbers kind of say it as well, in bracketology, 9 Big 12 men's teams have been projected to be in the tournament. Only 6 women's teams are projected to be in the tournament. But the numbers, at least the net numbers, say maybe it should be more than that. Maybe it should be 7. There was a representative from the Big 12 who attended Wednesday night's women's game between Iowa State and Houston, and she believed that the conference deserves 7 teams to be in the NCAA tournament. Time will tell. But what are your thoughts on that? All 14 Big 12 women's teams are ranked in the top 100, starting with Coach Vic Schaefer's Texas Longhorns at number 4. He has one of the best freshmen in the country, point guard. Well, now point guard because of injury. Miss Madison Booker. Iowa State 14. They got their best player back, center Ioka Lee. She put in work last night in their overtime win over West Virginia. Baylor 19. All Baylor's 6 losses have come in Big 12 play. West Virginia 20. Oklahoma 27. Oklahoma's in first place. 13-2. And this is after their last game in non-conference. They lost to Southern. But now sitting in first place, 1 game ahead of Texas. Iowa State, who beat the Cougars last night, Wednesday night, ranked 40th. Kansas ranked 43rd. TCU 46, starting to get healthy again. They were without 3 of their starters for like 5 weeks. One of them, Madison Connor, came back the last 2 games, and they won 2 in a row with her back in lineup. Oklahoma State, 55. Texas Tech battled Texas last night, only lost by 5 in Austin. They're at 68. BYU, Lauren Gustin. BYU's played 28 games, if that's right, 28 games, and she's had a double-double in like 25 of them. Amazing. She's going to be All-American. UCF, 83. Cincinnati, 95. And Houston, 99. Women's basketball. However, Tony M., you know how I feel, Tony M. Rex, I think you know how I feel about Coach Hughey at Houston, leading the charge. 10 seasons, Tony. 10 seasons, women's basketball for Houston Cougars under Coach Hughey. And still not 1 trip to the NCAA tournament. And barring some miracle this year, they're not going to the tournament. If the money, money, Tony, he says it. 11 years. Should it be an 11th season for Coach Hughey? Who himself has said the standard is getting to the NCAA tournament. He said that. Yes, Rex, it is correct. Baseball coach at Houston, Todd Whiting, received a 3-year extension. Was announced last Friday, but it was signed and agreed upon January 30th. So, yes. And Coach Whiting has had probably as little success as Coach Hughey. So when I saw that deal announcement that he got a 3-year contract extension, I was like, what the hell? Money's about the same. Buyout's not too bad, but still, well, why? It's got to be financial. I'm beginning to wonder where the numbers are financially for UH Athletics. Maybe they cannot afford right now to hire new coaches outside of Coach Christian football. Maybe that's what it's coming down to. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's going to have to be waiting till year 3 in the Big 12 when you receive a full share of the media money to make changes. That's a shame. But if it's reality, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. But the lack of success, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, and it is accurate. All of the coaches are in good graces with Pez, except for that football guy who's no longer here. But unfortunately, because of getting rid of that former guy, they're still paying him off. It had to be done. No one is saying that. It had to be done. That former football coach had to go. Fans lost hope in that football guy. They were no longer going to spend money to see that football guy in charge. But basically, now you're paying that football guy, former guy and his staff, plus the new staff. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why baseball hasn't made a change, and women's hoops may not make a change, even though I think it's past time to do so. But I don't know. Let's see. Will Knows, my man Will Knows asked on YouTube the difference between what they received from the AAC versus the amount. I want to say AAC was maybe $8 million per year, and now Big 12 first year 19, 20, something like that for this year, and the same in year 2 in the Big 12. And then year 3 will be, what is it, 40, 42, 44, something like that. So it's definitely more than they got from the AAC. Hey, I agree it's enough. They're not doing it. Or they're dragging their feet. It's personal for some. They like the coaches. I don't know. This is business to me. It's business. Especially if you say and have said you want to compete for championships. Well, maintaining the status quo of head coaches who have not won championships is not going to get you championships in the tougher conference. So there we go with that. I don't know what to say about it. We'll see how it all plays out. But I want to talk about this. I'm just going to mention the score. I'm going to post the score. Wednesday night, Rice Owls men's hoops had played their best game of the season and rolled UAB in Birmingham, 94-71. UAB's record, I think, at the time was 9-3 in the conference. Rice was 3-9. Rice is now 4-9 after thumping UAB in Birmingham inside, I believe it's still Bartow Arena, 94-71. Rice shot 60% on the road to beat UAB. And they trailed early in the game, maybe like 10-2, something like that. The Owls, well, there's 3 Owls teams in the American Conference. The Rice Owls went on like a 23-1 run, something like that in the first half. UAB did not make a field goal for 9 minutes. Rice improves to 4-9 in the conference. And I'm pretty sure, ironically, all 4 of those conference wins have come on the road. At UAB, at Temple, at Memphis. I don't remember the 4th one, but I'm pretty sure it was on the road as well. It wasn't. Then I won a conference game at home yet. Well, I got a chance to do it this Saturday. Host ECU inside Tudor Fieldhouse, 1 o'clock, ESPN Plus. And then another shot to get their first home conference win next Wednesday against Temple to sweep those Owls. But yes, UAB, who is known for its offense, did not score a field goal for 9 minutes Wednesday in Rice's 94-71 victory. Head coach Scott Parra said, comment from him after the game, I knew and I believed that we were capable of a performance like this season. We just had not put 2 halves together. Well, they sure put it together last night. We'll see if they can carry it forward Saturday against ECU and then Wednesday against Temple and get out of that bottom 4, 11 through 14 seeds and not play on day one in the American Athletic Conference Championship. But yep, Tony, 9 minutes. UAB went 9 minutes without making a field goal. Bottom of the hour here on the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER. We're going to come back after a quick break, talk more Cougars, because I have a thought in my head that I want to share that shows how tough Big 12 basketball is and how competitive and how bunched up it is. But the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER, powered by JM&E, streaming live, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Fire TV, Roku, via the BS3 network. Watch this promo of BS3 to get an idea of what BS3 is all about.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER on the lunch break, powered by JM&E and also the BS3 network. It's Throwback Thursday, but now, more and more, it's known as the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER. I am, of course, KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't, shame on you. But if you don't, just go to BS3network.com or BS3TVlive.com. Back at it, talking some Coug basketball, some Rice Owls basketball, some H-Town hoops. That's what I do. That's what the Roundball Review does. 5 games left for the Cougs in Big 12 play. They're 1 game up over Iowa State. Those 2 teams split their head-to-head matchups the regular season. Look at this. 5 games left. Cougs at Baylor this Saturday morning, 11 o'clock on CBS, 11 a.m. Central. Coach Sampson said during his press conference earlier today that, Baylor's good enough to beat Houston. The Cougs are 1 game ahead of Iowa State, 2 games ahead of Baylor, 3 games ahead of BYU, TCU. 3 games separate 7 teams. 2 games separate 5 teams. I say all that. The top 4 teams, top 4 seeds in the Big 12, men's side and women's side. The top 4 receive basically 2 byes. They don't play. The first day of the tournament, the Big 12 conference tournament, is for seeds 11 through 14. Obviously, the Cougs not going to be in that, so not playing day 1. But day 2, seed number 5 plays. 5, 6, 7, and 8 seeds play on day 2. They play winners. 2 winners played winners of the first day of day 1. So if you are a top 4 seed, you get an extra day of rest, an extra day of prep. Whereas if you're the 5th seed, you don't. That could be a big deal. Instead of having to play 4 straight games in the tournament to win a Big 12, you're going to have to play 3. Quarterfinal, semifinal, championship. So the Cougs, they're sitting in first place right now, but they have not clinched a top 4 seed yet. And I think if my math is right, my UH education / my SP Waltrip High School education coming through is accurate. I think if the Cougs win 3 games out of the next 5, obviously minimum, 3 games, they will wrap up a top 4 seed and not play until, March 13th, I think. No, what is it? First round, March 12th, March 14th. Oh, hey, my birthday, March 14th. So keep that in mind. Everyone's excited. Big matchup playing Baylor this Saturday. And Rex, I'll post this. Thank you for that, because I'm going to look it up on my phone. And next week I'll have the slides so we can look at it together. But Selection Sunday, and this year, well, now for men and women, will be March 17th, Sunday, March 17th. The Big 12 Men's Basketball Championship is on March 16th. 5 o'clock Central. 5 o'clock Central. The women's tournament, Big 12 Women's Championship, starts on March 7th, first round for the seeds 11 through 14. Second round, Friday, March 8th. Quarterfinals, Saturday, March 9th. Then take a day off on Sunday, March 10th. And then have the semifinals on March 11th. And then the championship game on March 12th. That's women. So the men. Exactly. The men's tournament back in the AAC when the Cougs were a member had the title game Sunday afternoon, day of. So Selection Sunday. And was one of, I think them, maybe the Big Ten, maybe one other conference, had the championship game pretty much leading right up to the selection show. The game would end 30 to 45 minutes before the selection show. So if you were the champ, you celebrate, do your confetti, all that kind of stuff, photos, and then pretty much go right into sitting in the room waiting to find out where you're going to be seated in the tournament. But for Big 12 championship, Saturday evening. So after that, if I'm not saying they will, because I mean, heck, it's the Big 12. If the Cougs make it to the championship game, men, on March 16th, I think they would come home Sunday morning rather than Saturday night. And then, regardless, there will be I won't say a viewing party, but I know the team will get together for the Selection Sunday show, and media will be there to find out, to film, record the reaction to where they're seated in the tournament and who they'll face in the first round, all that good stuff. So they'll be back in time for that. Maybe a watch party, viewing party, but stay tuned here for that. More info regarding that, and of course, I'll share once I find out. But we know the Cougs will be in the tournament. Just a question of where. Right now, they are projected as a 1 seed. In the South region, games take place for the regional semifinal and regional final in Dallas. So Rex, not sure if you're Houstonian, but Rex, you can drive to Dallas to watch the Cougars in person if they win their first 2 games, of course, to advance to the Sweet 16 for the, what would that be, the 5th straight year? Am I right on that? So if that holds, the Cougs would be in the South region. The only way, well, obviously they have to lose a lot of games down the stretch here, for them to not be in Dallas would be if they are the 4th number 1 seed and the 3 other number 1s are closer to the other regional sites, and one of those is closer to Dallas. If that happens, then the Cougs will go out to Los Angeles. I think it's right at the 4th spot. So Rex looking ahead. Dallas road trip for sure. If they get there, yes. CA37. You saw Derek Queen choose Maryland. Yes, he made it official finally. I'm going to say this, and Coach Sampson, when you watch today's media availability the coach had with us at 11:15, ended right around 11:50 today, he did not mention, obviously he can't mention players, who are not signed and who have not committed to Houston. But he kind of hinted at some players who Houston stopped recruiting a while ago, but were still listed as the young man's final 3 or 4 choices. Derek Queen wasn't coming to Houston. Okay. I heard that in December. He wasn't coming to Houston. He was still listed. Houston was still listed as one of his schools as of this week. He wasn't coming to Houston. No, he was not coming to Houston. Barring some miracle, he was not coming to Houston. Maryland was the favorite for a while. And you can talk about NIL and all Maryland, Indiana were the top 2 choices really for Derek. He was not coming to Houston. Okay, trust me, he was not coming to Houston. That was a given for a while. And Coach Sampson said in an earlier media availability that they already have their big man of choice on the roster. And that's Jacob McFarland from the high school recruiting purposes. And Jacob and Derek are 2 body types, completely different players. Trust me. Jacob is slender, is slim, and Derek is a big fella. But Derek was not coming to Houston. Well, no, was not coming to Houston. And he did it. I'm not gonna say it. Y'all can think about it. Y'all are smart. Think about it. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say what y'all already know. But part of what Rex says is accurate. These players do this to hype up their stock. And his inner circle, he was going to. He was not coming to Houston. It was great for the program to have one of the top big men in the country consider Houston, because it's another indication of how highly regarded the Cougs are on a national landscape for top tier talent. But for a while, it was pretty clear he was not coming to Houston. He had a great visit here, all that kind of stuff. All that was great. But Will knows when I say this. I think Derek is from Maryland, that area, maybe even the DMV area. He wasn't coming to Houston. Okay, I'll just say it like that. I'm gonna say it over and over again. Y'all know what I'm saying without saying it. All right. All right. Schedule wise, in Big 12 play, men's action. All 14 teams are in action this Saturday. First up, we all know it. Houston at Baylor, 11 o'clock on CBS. Then West Virginia at Iowa State. Boy, it'd be nice if West Virginia pull off a big upset. I doubt it, though. But 1 o'clock on ESPN2. BYU, K-State. K-State needs to get back on the winning track. Home game in the Octagon of Doom. See if they can do it. 1 o'clock, Big 12, ESPN+. Another team that needs to get on the winning track, return, is Cincinnati. They're in Fort Worth. 2 o'clock, Big 12, now on ESPN+. Texas Tech in Orlando against UCF. UCF needs to get back on the winning track. 3 o'clock, Big 12, now on ESPN+. Bedlam, 3 o'clock on ESPN2. Last matchup of Bedlam, unless it's going to be in the Big 12 tournament next month. Sooners in Stillwater. The first matchup, was it 2 weeks ago? It's like a 5 to 8 point game. And Oklahoma State's playing better now. So who knows how that will turn out. Then last but not least on the docket, those folks who wear burnt orange, go to Allen Fieldhouse, 5 o'clock on ESPN. Should be a competitive matchup. The Jayhawks are different at home this year for sure than they are on the road. Women's basketball. 6 of the 7 games are this Saturday. Longhorns at UCF. Longhorns 12-3. UCF, newcomer. 11 o'clock game, Big 12 now on ESPN+. Baylor at West Virginia. West Virginia is very, very good at home. Have not had much success against the top tier teams in the conference. Baylor's kind of borderline top tier. Bedlam on the women's side. Cowgirls in Norman against the Sooners. Sooners in first place. Game on Fox. Fox Sports. Big Fox. 1 o'clock. Cincinnati goes to Lubbock. Both those teams are struggling to get wins. Bearcats 4-11 overall. 4-11 in Big 12. Tech 5-10 in Big 12. 2 o'clock, Big 12 now at ESPN+. Houston on the road against TCU. Both teams 4-11 in the Big 12. 6 o'clock, Big 12 now on ESPN+. And then BYU at Iowa State. And then Sunday, the Sunflower Showdown. K-State at Kansas. 1 o'clock on ESPN2. But back to Houston women at TCU. Both are 4-11 in the Big 12. Winner will have a better chance of not playing on the first day in the Big 12 conference tournament. TCU is getting healthier. Madison Connor is one of their best players. She's back now. They've won 2 straight with her returning to the lineup. The Cougs have not had much success on the road in conference play. They did win last Saturday in Stillwater. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how they deal with TCU, a healthier TCU. Because the first matchup, TCU's point guard tore ACL in the first quarter here in Houston. And I think Madison did not play in that game, so they're down like 3 starters. Sure would be important for the Cougars to win that game to improve to 5-11. Houston's next 2 games in Big 12 play on the women's side on the road. This Saturday in Fort Worth against TCU, and then next week, Tuesday or Wednesday in Provo against BYU. They could lose both of those. We shall see. These final minutes. Rockets at the Pelicans tonight. Rockets host the Suns Friday night. Sunday, Rockets host OKC. Tuesday, the Rockets go to OKC. Then Thursday and Saturday next week, Rockets in Phoenix to play the Suns. See the Suns 3 times in the next 8 days. Rockets' first 6 games, Rex says time for a playoff push. I'm going to say time for a play-in push. But these next 6 games for the Rockets, their play-in push, play-in/playoff push could be over. Could be. After these upcoming 6 games. Fred VanVleet's healthy. Will play tonight. Everybody's healthy except Tariq and Reggie Bullock, but y'all care more about Tariq than Reggie. Let's see. The 12:30 report. As of 11:30, Tariq was still listed as out. As of 12:30, from the league office, let's see if anything's changed. I doubt it. I'm going to pull it up here. Nope, Tariq is still listed as out, but Reggie Bullock is now questionable. So Tariq, that left lower leg injury management is still the reason he's out. The Rockets haven't said anything more about the injury. It was a stress reaction back in October in that leg. It's now February. He hasn't played since what, January? Interesting question as he winds it down here. Do I think the NBA should push for a USA versus world? That's been discussed. We'll see. I kind of like John Hollinger's suggestion in Athletic. Wrote about it earlier this week. Make it similar to what's done on Friday and just have 4 teams of 7, increase the rosters to 14, have 4 teams of 7, square off in a round robin and play to a set score, like 50 or whatever, first team to 50 wins, whatever, to make it more competitive, hopefully make it more competitive, something like that. But we'll see. I didn't watch any of this stuff this weekend. I enjoy my time off watching college basketball and doing nothing else. I didn't pay any attention to the NBA events. HCU. Ooh, boy. Women's Huskies, ladies team, 1-12 in Southland Conference. Only top 8 go to the conference tournament, so their season's almost over. Literally, it's almost over like in a week. HCU men's team, 4-9 at Southland. Both teams in action at home inside Sharp Gym this Saturday versus Northwestern State. Prairie View on the road. PV men and women are both 5-8 in the SWAC. This Saturday, then Arkansas against Pine Bluff. And then Monday against Valley in Mississippi and in Itabena, Mississippi. And I think Mississippi Valley men's team has not won a game this season. I think they are over. Women's team may have 1 win or 2. But Mississippi Valley athletics, the school is just so underfunded. It's a shame what's been a lot happening with that institution. Rice, again, men are in action this Saturday, hosting East Carolina, 1 o'clock. And then Temple next week. Rice women, coming off 2 road losses, host Temple on Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock, ESPN Plus. Temple, I think Temple is like 10-5 or something like that. So that's an important matchup. Because similar to the Big 12, those top 4 seeds don't play until the quarterfinal. Then TSU, Coach Johnny Jones, TSU. Tigers win over Southern on Monday. Was Coach Jones' 100th win at TSU. So kudos to him. Tigers, men and women, are in Itabena, Mississippi this Saturday against Valley, and then in Arkansas on Monday against Pine Bluff. So kudos to Coach Jones for getting his 100th win at TSU. Men's team 8-5 in the SWAC. It's almost time for the SWAC tournament in Birmingham. And based on recent success and his nickname, Tournament Johnny, I would not bet against TSU men to win the SWAC tournament again and advance and return to the NCAA tournament. We'll talk about that more, of course, in upcoming editions of the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER. To Rex, Tony M, CA37, everybody, thank you as always for taking time out of your lunch break here on Throwback Thursday of the Lunch Break, which is now known as the Houston Roundball Review TAKEOVER. Thank you for watching on YouTube, Facebook, Musk, Fire TV, Twitch, and of course, Roku via BS3 Network. Get you a Houston Roundball Review mug if you're watching on the Roundball Review on YouTube, so you can enjoy your favorite beverage like I do. Cheers. Click on that shop button. Subscribe to the Houston Roundball Review on YouTube. Spread the word about the show, the content, the channel, everything here. As always, thank you for your time. Appreciate it, everyone. Have a great day. And always remember, the Houston Roundball Review, since 1994. Local name, global perspective. Take care. Peace.
It's civil.